Hi everybody, it's Kate. Today I am talking about another movie. Shocking, I know. And that movie is 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo. Jennifer Garner plays Jenna, who at the beginning of the movie is a nerdy girl who wants to fit in with like the popular girls who are really mean to her. And then her best friend, Mark Ruffalo, who is Matt, is also very nerdy, and they're both just like losers in a way, but like that's just mean. They're like 13-year-old kids who are not popular, and she wants to be popular and fit in, and he's kind of like, screw these popular kids, they're jerks, and they hurt my feelings. It is Jenna's 13th birthday, and she invites Matt, her best friend, and all these popular girls. It's like this group of like 6 girls who are really mean and popular, and they come over, and then they're all like super mean to her, and then she hides in her like a closet, and then she's like, I wish I could be 30. I wish I could be 30. I wish I could be 30. And Matt had given her a house. Not a house. He did not like buy her house at 13. He made like a miniature house, and then he gave her like this like one of those like gag gifts of like magic, and it's like sparkles, and it's like if you blow this on you, you'll have your biggest wish come true. So like, some of it tips over on her, and then she wakes up being 30, and she also finds out that she is a part of a magazine, so she's like an editor. She works at a magazine called Poise, and her best friend at the current moment is one of the girls who was super mean to her, whose name is Lucy. Lucy is a secondary main character, also antagonist, and she works at the magazine company as well. And then she goes to work because she like, her friend is outside her building, so she's like, oh my gosh, she wakes up in this like nice apartment. She finds out that, you know, she's this like she's this high up editor at a magazine that she's liked when she was a kid. And then like they go to the office, and her boss, who is Andy Serkis, who I love so much, he's like, we are falling behind. And he's like, we're losing to a Sparkle. Somehow they're getting our ideas before us and they're making it even better. Jenna's like, this is so crazy. I don't know anything about this job. And then she's like freaking out because she's like, wait, what do you mean I haven't called my parents? What do you mean I haven't seen Matt in forever? Like all these things. Because she's like, we find out that she's become like a very mean person where she just like fires people on a whim. There's some later stuff that happens that's a spoiler, so I'm not gonna say anything. But you just find out that she's like not a good person, and her biggest goal is just to get the best of the best with her career, which is not necessarily a bad thing, obviously, but she hurts a lot of people in the process. So she finds Matt's address. She makes her assistant go find Matt's current address. So she finds and she goes and she's like, Maddie, it's me. Matt, like I'm here. And he's like, I have not seen you since high school. Like you were so mean to me in high school. And she's like, what do you mean? We're best friends. And he was like, yeah, after your 13th birthday, we stopped being friends because you were such a jerk. And he's like, I don't even know who you are. Like, I don't even know you. Like, you were so mean to me. You were like just one of the other bullies. Like, we've not been friends since like high school, since we were 13. And so she's like, but you're my best friend. And it's so sad.
You need to help me remember my life.
Me?
Yes.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I don't know anything about you. All right? I haven't seen you since high school. We're not friends anymore, Jenna.
Maddie, you're my best friend.
So it's just like Jenna is kind of figuring out that she's kind of a horrible person. I say horrible in like a bit dramatic way, but like completely opposite of what she was when she was a kid. So it's just like Jenna kind of switches. She's like really nice to people. She's really nice to her assistant, to her neighbor who is another teenage girl. And it's like, if you don't know there's a 13-year-old, that's insane. Because she's like, she just like goes on and on and on and talks with like these 13-year-olds and invites them over and they like have sleepovers. But it's like, oh, ha, hee, hee, she's not actually 30. And that's kind of like a thing running throughout, but it's also really weird because like she's like a boyfriend, right? And he doesn't know that she's 13 in the 30-year-old's body, so it's just like, ugh, I did not like it. It's icky. Don't add any kissing scenes, please. No, thank you. She goes to this party, like an office party, and it's like super boring, and everyone is like leaving, so she doesn't really know what's happening because she's just like, it's 11 p.m. Yeah, people should go. And they're like, no, this is horrible. Everyone's leaving. So she's like, I have an idea. So she goes up to the DJ and it's like, hey, play Thriller. And then she does the Thriller dance. And it's so funny because when she was younger, her and Matt had done this dance like together. And Matt had come to the party because she invited him. And she was like, you should totally come. It's so much fun. He came, which is sweet because it's like he has not seen her in like what, 17 years, and he's just like, okay. So he goes and he does the dance with her, and then like a ton of people do the dance, and so she like saves the party, and it's so sweet. It's probably like the most famous scene from the movie because it's with like the most iconic outfit of hers, and it's just like so sweet. And it's also so sad because it's like, this is what a little kid would do, you know what I'm saying? Like, how to spice up a party is do a dance, you know? It's so funny. But no, she's like kind of navigating her life. She reads like books on magazines and stuff. It's like how to do magazine stuff, for dummies. And then she comes into work and they're like saying how Sparkle, their competitor, has like all of their ideas, and they have like sold 1 million copies, and they're like down the dump, so they have to either change. Poise, the one she works at, either has to change everything or go down in the dump. So they're like, we can change everything. So she's like, okay, we're gonna come up with new ideas. So her and her new best friend Lucy are like, okay, we're gonna come up with a new idea. But like while she's like kind of working, she overhears Lucy and just another woman who works as an editor talking about how they're gonna double cross Jenna and be like, we're actually gonna go behind her back because we don't want her to have any of this stuff. She's being really weird, like why is she being nice to people now? Just a complete 180 of her personality.
Don't want Jenna to find out.
No, roger that.
Okay, I'm getting so sick of having her around with this crazy new act that she has going on. You know, she stole Charlotte's idea, right? And then she fired her. I say we go ahead with our own presentation and let her fall on her ass.
She gets heartbroken. She's like, this girl who used to be mean to me when I was a kid is now mean to me still. So she goes all the way back to her home, which is in New Jersey. Her parents are on a trip. They're on like a cruise, so they're not home. She goes to the basement and sobs in the same closet that she cried when she was a kid. And then her parents go home and they're like, there's someone in our house, because she literally hasn't been home in years. Like, she's skipped Christmas because she's so big city now. And then she just like hugs her parents and like sobs. And I was like, I am not even kidding you, tearing up at this part. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the saddest thing ever, because it's like, this is just a 13-year-old kid terrified, you know what I'm saying? But then her parents are like, take her in with loving arms, and they like in the morning they make her this like super cute like pancake breakfast with like a smiley face, and like, and then she's talking to her mom and is like, is there ever something that you regret seriously? And then her mom was like, I mean, I have regrets and I've made bad decisions, but I would not take those back because I think they've made me come to where I am today. So she just like giving her advice, and it's just like, it's like, this is just a scared 13-year-old girl and she doesn't know anything, and she has her own apartment, she has a job, like it's crazy. And she's like asking about it because she thinks the biggest mistake she's ever made in her entire life is being mean to Matt and cutting off that friendship when she was a kid. She talks to her parents and she's like, okay, I know what I gotta do. She like goes through a ton of old yearbooks and stuff, and she sees a ton of these pictures, and she's like, wait, this would be such a good idea for the magazine, for a rebrand. Because she being so little, she's like, this is what I think would be fun on a magazine. And also, I say little, she's 13. I'm old now. And then she takes a ton of these pictures, and then she's like, we're gonna have them then and now, where they recreate all these pictures. So she finds Matt, like hires him for this, and he's like, listen, you don't have to do this to be nice. Like, it was like 20 years ago when you pretty much broke my heart. And then she's like, no. Like, I love your photography. We're gonna go with you. I'm paying you for the whole week. You're gonna do a ton of this stuff. So they like recreate like a bunch of old stuff. They recreate like old dances and old pictures. It's so sweet. And it's kind of funny because this is stuff that Jenna has never experienced, because like obviously she saw pictures of herself experiencing it, but she jumps from 13 to 30. So it's like, she never experienced high school. Everyone else is reminiscing about it, but she's like living it for the first time. Like, it doesn't really dive into that, but I was just thinking about that because I'm so thoughtful. Just, my brain is always working. It's always on. Her and Matt are getting closer. Then they're like, are hanging out, you know? And they have like really sweet conversations. They swing, and then they kiss, which would be sweet, but she's 13. Obviously he doesn't know that, but it's just like, ew. You guys could have high-fived. Also, oh my gosh, I forgot to mention, he's engaged. And she knows this at this point. I don't really blame her because she is a 13-year-old. She's trying to have the same relationship that she had with him when she was a kid, which is being best friends and liking each other. You know what I'm saying? But he's lived his entire life. He's 30. He has a fiance that he's marrying like in like a couple weeks. Whenever she finishes the photo shoot and she finishes like putting the magazine together, like not the magazine together, but like the idea for the magazine. Like, she's having like the pitch meeting, and her friend has an idea that just kind of sucks. It's just like, it's chic, it's diva, it's baddie, it's so cool. And it's just like classic trying to be different model pictures, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, It's different. It's kind of grungy. It's so sick.
It will kill. Cause of death? Sheepness.
And then hers is like, we should just relive high school. Isn't that fun? And everyone loved her idea. Everyone was like, yes, Jenna. So they're like, okay, we're going to do this. So she's like, perfect. I saved Poise, the magazine I work for. But then her friend, Lucy, aka a horrible, backstabbing, evil woman, is searching through her little drawer. Is searching through Jenna's drawer like a little, can't think of any animal that does that. Digging like a little dog. And is like, finds letters from Sparkle, the company, the magazine that is against Poise. And turns out Jenna is the one who's leaking everything to Poise early. And she was doing this because she was going to become editor-in-chief. Jenna didn't know this because she doesn't know anything from the times of 13 to 30. But like Jenna, who, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So Jenna doesn't know this. But then Lucy takes Jenna's idea, all of the pictures, sends it to Poise. She gets the job. And Poise posts it like a day before. So Jenna's idea is just... And Jenna finds this out and she gets super upset at Lucy. And then she's like, you're horrible. And she's like, yeah, I know. And then it's the day of Matt's wedding. And Jenna's like, oh my gosh, no. So she goes all the way back home because he's having his wedding at his childhood home, which is right next to Jenna's childhood home. So she goes all the way back there. Like Matt's getting ready just waiting for to start, the ceremony to start. I don't know why that took me so long to say. He's there. And she's like, listen, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I think I've changed and I like you and I love you and whatever. And he's like, I've always loved you, but just because we've reconnected the past week or two does not mean that I can forget everything else that happened.
But I have realized in these past few days, you can't just turn back time.
And then she's like crying and he's like, please don't cry. And she's like, I'm just happy for you. I'm sorry. Like she's trying really hard and it's so sad because it's like, this is just I know I keep saying it, but it's like, this is just a 13-year-old kid who her best friend and the boy she has a crush on is getting married. You know what I'm saying? He gives her the dollhouse that he made for her because, oh my gosh, it's so sad. Like at her birthday party when she was 13 years old, she got mad at him and threw it at him. And he spent 3 weeks making it. So he's kept it this entire time for the past like 20 years. And then she's like, can I at least have it back? And he's like, okay. So leaves crying. She doesn't want to, stop the wedding. She's not a wedding crasher. And then she goes and sits on the porch of her own house, which is right next door. And she's like sobbing. And then wind starts blowing. And there's a little bit of the magic sparkle dust on the house because it was on the house earlier. And it blows onto her. And then she wakes up as the 13-year-old. She's back. She's back because it's clear she would wish to go back to that. And she goes out to Matt and then she does not throw the dollhouse at him. She does not yell at him. She's like, I like you. And then he's like, cool. And then it cuts to them being married. Very sweet. And then they move into the house of what the dollhouse looks like. And it just shows that she had a good relationship with her parents and him. And it's all worked out. And it's so sweet. And that's how the movie ends. But I don't know if she's still the editor because she probably got that job for being not so nice, I don't know. It doesn't really say what she does because they never show her job. I don't know why they have so many movies where it's the little kid is now an adult or vice versa. If you think of Freaky Friday, it's just you're a grown woman in a kid's body. It's just I personally don't enjoy those types of movies when there are romantic elements to it because I personally think it's just creepy. That's the only thing that I was like, ew. And it, wasn't that bad. But yeah, that's kind of, I don't really have that many things to say about this movie. I enjoyed it. It's a fun movie. I love Jennifer Garner, Love Mark Ruffalo. I like the actors, Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because if you don't, you're going to turn into an old hag, okay? And your life's going to suck. So a little different than this. Yeah. So you better do those things or else you're going to be old. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye.